Hey guys, what's up? Andrew from American Musical Supply here, Winter NAMM 2018. We're at the Manley booth with Marek. We're going to be talking about some channel strips and preamplifiers here. So Marek, why don't you take us away?
Thank you. All right, so let's start with the Vox Box, also known as the bass box, because bass players plug in here and fall in love with it. But the Vox Box to me is the ultimate channel strip, especially when I have somebody that comes in the studio that doesn't know what they're doing. They can plug this in, plug in their vocal microphone, and pretty much turn the knobs in any direction, and it's going to sound good. It's an amazing thing. So what do I have? Obviously, I've got the mic pre, right, that brings up our level from this tiny little microphone thing up to line level. It's just voltage is all we're talking about with audio after all, right? Then I've got a compressor here that comes from the ELOP compressor, so electro-optical compressor, so really forgiving, very musical. It'll bring out some percussive elements in the vocal, like the buck, all that kind of stuff, so it can bring the vocal forward if you get a little aggressive with it. Then on the back end, you can either use a de-esser, which I never use because I actually know how to use microphones correctly. So I don't use a de-esser, I use it in the limit mode, so that's 10-to-1, so it's a second ELOP on the back end here. So I've got the compressor followed by the limiter in there, and then I've got the beautiful Pultec section here so I can sculpt my equalization to get the perfect type of sonics that I want out of it. So really fast, really, really beautiful and immaculate sounding, and I can access these different functions also from the back separately if I want to, instead of just using the microphone preamp. I could use it as a line level operating device. I can even strap two of these together if you're feeling particularly wealthy today and use those functions. That's the Vox Box. All right, so let me tell you about the kid brother of the Vox Box, the Manley Core. Manley Core, we really wanted something that we could get into the $2,000 price range land with, and it's very hard for Manley to do that because everything is done by hand. You'll see huge transformers, tubes, all those kind of things in there that make Manley beautiful. By the way, Manley does wind their own transformers, which is pretty rare these days. So the way we were able to do this was by getting a switching power supply instead of using one of these huge transformers, like 11-core pieces of iron that weigh like 7 pounds on the back, and they actually burn those switching power supplies in at the factory even after they get them. So they do another whole stage of QC. That's how everything's done at Manley, how the tubes are burned in for weeks at a time, how the units are burned in after the tubes are burned in, just to make sure it doesn't fail when it gets to your house, because as we know in this business, things usually fail in the first 2 days. That's when they're going to break, so we'll take the heat for you and do it there. Okay, so anyway, so Core, so we were able to put it in a smaller box, so there's physically less metal, because we know we're just digging holes in the earth, and pretty much we're going to run out of it after a while, unless Elon Musk goes and pulls an asteroid down for us. So we have less metal in the box, we've got the switching power supply, but everything that I told you about the Vox Box is very similar here. I've got, obviously, a mic pre on the front end, then I've got an electro-optical limiter, again, here. I've got basic EQ here, and then I've got a FET, an FET limiter on the back end. So compressor, optical compressor, FET limiter, equalization, and the mic pre. So again, don't be shy to use this on other things like instruments, like reamping, or using it on your bass guitar. You know, it's a pretty awesome box, and it's less than half the price of a Vox Box. And then, for those of you that are really daring out there and need multiple inputs, maybe you're doing a drum kit, right? Or maybe you're a crazy guy that likes to do the front and the back. You know, I'm going to mic the guitar with my Royer at an angle, and then I'm going to put my 57 right in there and bury it. Then I'm going to put a 421 in the back and flip phase on that. And then I'm going to hang a 409 Sennheiser down the face, whatever. If you're one of those guys, you've got 4 inputs here, so you've got 4 mic pre's. It's not exactly this mic pre, but it is almost exactly this mic pre, so you know. So once you hear the sonics of this and you like that, expand and fall in love with the Force. Imagine this. If I buy a 500 series channel strip, I've got, my rails are 16 volts. These are 200 volts in here. We're talking massive rails. And for the price of this box, just add it up, it's a deal for 4 channels. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Marek. And you can check out these products at AmericanMusical.com.